Do you think guys like Tony, you know Tony Hughes, right?
I love Tony Hughes.
Do you think he's dangerous for the younger generation of aspiring bodybuilders because of the things he puts out there?
I don't think that Tony Hughes is dangerous because Tony Hughes, I know that there's listen, by me sitting here going, I love steroids, that could be considered dangerous. Because some kid would be like, Valentino says steroids are good, and he shot steroids, and every bodybuilder said, I'm gonna do that. Listen, so you can say anything. What I like about Tony Hughes is he gives you the good and the bad. And he doesn't say, you need to start doing this. What he's doing is he's Dr. Frankenstein, and he's also the Frankenstein monster. He's doing his experiments on himself, and he's showing you things. Now, he tells it like it is. He won't sugarcoat it.
So do you think in today's bodybuilding, today is 2019, right? Do you think we reached the pinnacle of the physique? Because today we have all the different drugs.
I think
we have
yes.
Everything, nutrition-wise. You know what I mean? Like, do you think we reached the pinnacle of? Can't get any better than that.
I think we reached the danger zone. I think we're in the red zone. Okay. I think anything else that you come up with that could build even more muscle, make guys even bigger and harder, is going to kill guys. It's not normal to be that big. The human body's not made to be that big. Again, I tell everybody this, and I'll get into that, explain a little bit more, but if you took two people, if I took Vlad #1 here, and I made Vlad #1, and I clone Vlad, I clone you. Okay, so I got Vlad #1 here, is exact clone of Vlad #2. Vlad #1, I'm gonna pump him up with so much steroids, make him so, he's gonna be 300 ripped pounds, no body fat, 300 ripped pounds. Vlad #2, not gonna do shit. Matter of fact, I'm gonna feed him donuts and all kinds of shit. He's gonna be fat. So Vlad #1 and Vlad #2 are gonna be fat. Now Vlad #2 is gonna probably get diabetes and other little health issues. Okay, but more than likely, he's like everybody else out there that eats donuts, eats pizza, and all that other shit. He'll probably live longer than Vlad #1. And you'll say, well, how do you figure that? He's fat. Well, human body over evolution, we have evolved so that we can live with body fat on us and around our organs and in our, it's not good to have it in your fucking, but Vlad #1, his heart is pumping like this. It's like this. Right, why? Because muscle draws more blood flow than fat. There's very little blood flow in fat. If you cut a fat person open, they bleed from the skin, but if you saw fat, it's like yellow jelly. It doesn't have blood vessels, very little blood flow in body fat. If big obese people don't have huge, that's why you can cut all that skin and shit. The blood, you couldn't do it with muscle. Muscle calls a lot more blood flow. That's why these guys die of heart attacks. And now you're getting liver and kidney failure. Oh, everybody, kidney. And what I'm saying is, we've reached a point also where the physiques are ugly. I know I don't shut the right? No. Okay, but we've reached the point where physiques are ugly. Okay, where now if I cut off everybody's head, and I showed you pictures, here's that guy Ashkenani and all the Kuwait guys, and we'll get to that in a second. All the Kuwait guys, you couldn't tell me who's who. You wouldn't even know. They, Big Ramy started it all, but they all look like Big Ramy. You know what I'm saying? Every one of them look like Big Ramy. You know what I'm saying? And what are you gonna do? Make Big Ramy? We're gonna come out with a bigger Big Ramy? You know what I mean? What's gonna get bigger on him? He's gonna have even bigger arms. So when he does a most muscular and then does a double bicep, like that, you know what I mean? A little Nate Diaz come over with his concave chest and go like this, and he'd be done. What I'm trying to say is it's no more athletic. It's not healthy. It's going the opposite way. You know what I mean? You see a Bob Powers physique, Lila Brada's physique was a beautiful physique, beautiful structure. Those kind of physiques, you were healthier too. And even that, they took steroids and shit, which is the greatest, but you're not gonna, you're not putting yourself in the danger zone. All the guys, it's the more recent guys, these younger guys are the ones getting kidney problems and all that stuff. You don't find guys from the Lee Haney era. Well, I'm sure there's one or two, but It's not as prevalent, you know? So what I'm saying is, I think that we've reached a pinnacle where we're in the red zone now, where it's dangerous. I think that the steroids are not even the issue. It's not the steroids. So simmer down. I'm not against steroids. I'm pro-steroid. Okay? It's all the other shit they're doing. Okay? Blocking their cortisone. Upping their, taking massive amounts of sugar. Listen, I loved Rich Piana. I did, okay? But when these idiots in my gym tell me, well, Rich Piana used to eat a pint of ice cream before, quarter ice cream before bed, Ben & Jerry's, and look at what he looks like. And I said, holy f***, he was doing insulin, you fucking Momo. You know what I mean? He did. See, they show you that, but they're not. When, Jay Cutler's eating the candy corn and eating all that stuff, they're not showing you. You think they're just going to, you think he's going to eat a pint of ice cream and go to Whataburger before that? And
he would get really fat.
Right, he would be fat. And in the morning, using Cocoa Pebbles, what is it? There's cocoa cereal, Cocoa Puffs, and put in
a lot of sugar.
Right. You think that that's the way bodybuilders really, do you really believe that? No, it's because then they take massive insulin. These guys are taking 50 IUs of insulin and shit like that, when a diabetic takes 2 to 4. Do
you think guys like Tony, Tony Hughes, right?
I love Tony Hughes.
Do you think he's dangerous for the younger generation of aspiring bodybuilders because of the things he puts out there?
I don't think that Tony Hughes is dangerous, because Tony Hughes, I know that there's preferential. Listen, by me sitting here going, I love steroids, that could be considered dangerous, because some kid would be like, Valentino says steroids are good, and he shot steroids in every body part, so I'm going to do that. Listen, so you can say anything. What I like about Tony Hughes is he gives you the good and the bad, and he doesn't say you need to start doing this. What he's doing is he's Dr. Frankenstein, and he's also the Frankenstein monster. He's doing his experiments on himself, and he's showing you things. Now, he tells it like it is. He won't sugarcoat it. He'll tell you like that one PT 141 or whatever it was that you shoot that makes you horn, gets your dick hard. I think that's the one. I could be wrong. It might be a different one, but the one you get really nauseous. You want to throw up with it. You know what I mean? He's I don't know, dude. But if I feel like I'm gonna I want to fucking give my girl a little spam. That's ham in the can. My ham in her can. I don't want to take something that's going to make me nauseous, because I ain't going to want to do that. You know what I mean? I like Tony. It's just, I see why some people think he's dangerous. I do.
You think gurus are dangerous, correct?
I think gurus are dangerous because gurus are telling you to do this. Tony Hughes is not sitting here saying, listen, I want you to, I want you to go home. You've been taking a lot of steroids. Pop a needle in your arm and drain the blood into a bucket. You ever see him do that?
Yeah.
Okay. But he's not telling you to do that. He's saying I have my, right now, let's say my iron levels are too high, whatever it is that's in his blood is too high, his blood's too thick, and he's having blood tests. See, we just hit on something. Here's the thing that nobody talks about. He's having blood tests. So he's saying, this is why I'm doing this. These kids that watch this stuff, they do these things without that part. They don't have blood tests. Well, I'm going to go take this, I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to do the blood test. I'm sure nobody's cutting open their arm or sticking a fucking needle in their arm, dripping the blood into the bucket. It's like me. But what about my video where I'm draining the fucking blood, right? I drain the whole blood out of my bicep. I'm not telling you people to do that. I did it for myself. I think that Tony Hughes is just documenting what he's doing. I actually think what Tony Hughes is doing is really good, in the sense that I think that if I was a medical doctor, I would watch him and I'd want to be part of that, because I think Tony Hughes is going to break on through to the other side. So I think he's going to find...
Doctors actually hate him because he's not a doctor. You know that, right?
Right.
He's a lawyer.
His name is not even Tony. I know that. I know Tony. I'm friends with Tony.
So yeah. The doctor's actually he's part of Bigorexia, and
right.
We did a couple of projects on him actually called Enhanced. And the doctors that we talk to about him absolutely hate him. They say he's dangerous to the society.
People hate what they don't understand. If you look at him, he's doing what doctors should be doing. Listen to me. Listen. Bajagaloops out there, listen to what I'm trying to tell you. guys are going to do steroids. Whether you, me, Vinny, anybody, whether we tell them to do it, or whether we do, they're going to do it on their own. So what he's doing is he's documenting his experiences. A smart doctor would say, hey, you want to be a guinea pig? I'm going to write this down. So tell me about what you thought. Tell me about what happened when you did this. I'd be writing all that down, and I'd be making, I would say, Tony Huge is an experiment. He's doing things that are not being done. They're experiments that can actually eventually help people, maybe help people even live. You know what I'm saying? Okay. People are going to do steroids. They're going to do something. They don't care. Guys are going to make those fucking rich piano shakes in the morning. They're going to put fucking 10 pounds of sugar and eat over 1,000 carbs in a shake because Rich Piana did. They're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? If I was rich, he forgot to tell the Muslim guys, after this, I had to do X amount of cc's of insulin to deal with all this. And then I had to do, a little IGF to keep my liver from producing too much. I know all this other, but he didn't do that. He left that part out. Tony Huge, right? He shows the whole thing, and he leaves no stone unturned because there are people out there who are going to do steroids no matter how much. As a matter of fact, the more people say it's bad for you, like baseball, when they started that, they make kids. They should have been like, because the minute they brought Barry Bonds is hitting home runs from steroids. Young kids are going, teenage boys are going, wait, what's steroids? You know what? I want to be a pro baseball player. I'm going to try that shit. You understand what I'm saying? You just woke up the hive. You shook the hive. You woke up the sleeping giant. You can't do that. Okay? So now, I think what Tony's doing is I never see Tony telling people, listen, check your blood. If you got too much thick blood, I want you to take a bucket. Go over there. I never seen him he doesn't do that. You understand? Tony, you're my boy. You know what I mean? What he's doing is he's documenting experiments. Doctors should fucking key in on that and say, this is groundbreaking shit. He's doing shit that you'd have to get clinical trials and have all kinds of legal to go do in a hospital. You follow what I'm saying?
No, I understand that part.
What do you think? That's not,
I like him personally. I think he's a great guy. I'm always torn. I'm always torn on the whole, everything that he talks about because you can take it either way, you know what I mean? So I'm always like kind of in the middle on these things because on one hand it's educational, on the other hand it goes against everything that doctors are talking about.
But you're afraid of, I know what you're afraid of. Monkey see, monkey do.
Absolutely, of course.
That's what you're afraid of. Monkey see, monkey do.
That happens a lot.
Right, but what I say is, monkey gonna do anyway. You know what I'm saying? If you see, listen, do you know how many times, come on, how many kids have you seen or that you know or you hear stories of, kid walk in the gym, first day he's fucking in the gym and he starts to work out and he don't even know what steroids are. What could I take to what does that guys take? I'm like, dude, you've had hair on your a couple years. The last thing you need is anabolic steroids, you know what I mean? I can take testosterone. Dude, when my parents, I was 18, 19 years old, I would go into the grocery store, out come the Playboy, you know what I mean? I didn't give a shit, you know what I mean? You need to tap into your own test when you're young. But these kids today start steroids. You know why the old school bodybuilders, guys like me and everything that started out natural and was natural for so long, you know what? Because I didn't even know what steroids were. Do you know why? Because they kept it out of the magazines. Muscle and Fitness, Muscle Builder would not talk about steroids. Do you know why?
For that reason.
Do you know why they didn't talk about steroids? They were told not to put anything in there. Do you know why? Because Joe Weider wanted bodybuilding in the Olympics. And he said, if you talk about steroids, and we say that these guys are, you thought Arnold, I thought Arnold took protein shakes, some lecithin, some, desiccated liver, and look at him. I believe that shit. I'm going to eat eggs like Arnold. That's what I thought. They kept it like this because Joe Weider's vision for bodybuilding was to one day have bodybuilding.
Is it better to do it that way?
What's that?
Is it better to keep it out of the media, the steroid talk in general?
Absolutely. Because I think it's just you're just making kids more and more, you know what I mean? It's just like getting back to the whole thing we talked about with transgender, and all of a sudden now you're making guys go, oh shit, look at these guys now. A lot of guys are turning into girls. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I want to be a girl. You know what I mean? Like you're opening up, and every time you bring up something new, you know what I mean? Like now the new thing is ayahuasca, DMT. Everybody wants to, you know, you watch Joe Rogan talking about it, you know. I saw pink elephants. I actually saw real alien spirits came down. Dude, you were fucking high. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You didn't see it. I'm just telling you. You're not gonna, you know. But see, me, I don't like the whole idea of those kind of drugs because it takes away control, and I like to be in control. You know? But it doesn't look good that you're Mr. Olympia is doing a buff on Google with everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm just saying, I'm not saying he shouldn't f around. You know what I mean? I shouldn't talk. I shouldn't talk. I cheated on my wife for years. I gave you as a fan my perspective. As my perspective is, he should have competed. Okay? I would like to have seen him compete. That's my perspective of as a guy in the sport of bodybuilding. I'm in the industry and a fan. Now, take me out of there to thinking more like a businessman. I say, fuck him. We don't want him. He'll taint our show. Imagine if he wins this year.